Hello, it's Stephen here with another part, the second part of this house build with another house build, and it's we are going to finish out this group accommodation just a tiny bit. You will also now see me. I missed. I had a couple of rooms that I didn't have that I needed to fit my set family in there. So we are gonna build that right now. Gonna make it a tiny bit bigger and then add another room. Because in my mind that made sense. As I said, this is the second part of this house build. I am planning on finishing this right now. That is what we're going to do. That's at least what I did back then. I'm not exactly sure what I said in the first part, but I will do my best to make this seem and sound okay-ish. That is at least my plan. As I said, this is, as I said in the previous part, this is a group accommodation that I started building because me and my family used to go on vacations with my whole family, with my aunt and uncle and nieces and nephews. And I sometimes reminisce about that. And I think I also told in the first part of this video, of this house build, I'm all over the place, that I had my nephew and niece come and spend the night. And I think that also made me want to build this. My niece has been on, I think, 2 of these getaways with the whole family. Doesn't recall it. My nephew does, so that was nice. There was this one time when he was not even a year old, I would say. He went also, which I recall as being very fun because I got to drive him, and he was just the cutest baby ever. But that's me being an aunt, and I potentially am a bit biased about that. I don't know. But yeah, this is specifically built to fit the family that we have at this moment. Who knows what the future will bring, but at this moment I think this house would fit us. And I also think we are gonna have a lot of fun in it if we did go on this vacation to here. At least that's what I would think. Now, I also don't recall what I told about the concert I went to see that I saw the last time I did a voiceover for this house build. I don't know, but I do know that I had a lot of fun at these concerts. I would say potentially, but that's also maybe me being biased, that the best one was Harry Styles, but that is just me being biased. I potentially think so. I also had anticipated seeing him for 2 years, so I think that also helped. I also, the last concert I saw, and the last concert, at least for the foreseeable future, was an Sheeran concert, and Ed never disappoints, at least not in my eyes. He always does a good job. So that was also nice. Let me think what else I need to tell. I don't know. So you currently on the screen can see me figuring out the extra room I just made, and we're gonna, I think, furnish all of the bedrooms. I generally like in a rental like this for there to be a dresser in each bedroom, a mirror, a chair, a plant. I think one of the previous group accommodations I've built included sink in each room, and that also was a nice touch. Also really like that. For some strange reason. A lot of umming. I think a mirror in each room is a nice touch, and the chair as well. So if you can also put your clothes on the chair if you wanted to, but also if you were to be done for a second with the whole group you're with in this house, you could at least go and sit on the chair in your room for a bit on your own. That would be nice, I would say. Not that this house doesn't have a lot of room as it is. It does. And these hallways, I did want to add something to it, but I would think that it's potentially, being a rental, you don't want a lot of knickknacks around. But you also want maybe some extra storage, so there are some drawers, drawers on the in the hallway that potentially could be storing. You name it, and it could be there. I have no clue. We're also now doing some of the bathrooms. Always fun. Always a fun time. And I think I mentioned this in my first part of this house build, that we needed to have this much room, and I think in the end I have it, and I think then it means that we need 10 parking spots. So I made this parking space here, enough room on this lot. So why not make something like that? Because I think it is useful. And this garden I'm gonna create in a second, it's gonna be fully closed in. I would think that makes more sense. And I also think, because what I'm just doing around this tree is my typical gardening option, I am gonna give it a good go to make the real part of this garden look a little bit nicer, which is also good, I think. And I also made these walkways here and a couple of extra outside terraces. So if you didn't want to sit on the main one, you can sit in the other two ones. Also gonna build a pool. My niece and nephew found the idea of a pool feature very nice. Yes, they really were enjoying that. And apparently my floor is not flat, so we're gonna change that in a sec. See, that's better. I'm also gonna fence in this pool because some people in my family have sort of young kids still, and I think that would be a hazard if you didn't have a fence around the pool. Generally, always in these cases, build a fence around the pool because I just think that makes more sense. I like the look of this fence. I don't like it that it won't place column every so often, just generally over every part. I don't really like that, but I like the rest of the fence, so that's nice. And I think I said this in the first part as well. These fences around the pool are gonna be locked, so that the kids could also not just wander in there if they wanted to. Which I think also makes sense. Now I'm currently looking for the umbrella, because I think an umbrella here and there would be a nice feature. And as you could probably tell, this is just gonna be the outdoor furniture for all the spots. Umbrella and table, some chairs around it. And you will see that this table won't fit everybody, but we're just gonna pretend that it does fit everybody, because then I would have a massive terrace if I had to make one that would fit everybody. We are also gonna put in 2 grills, I think, or at least one. And some lights. It's gonna look really nice, I think, in the end. At my first Harry Styles concert, I bought a poster. I was thinking of buying the poster that was made especially for that day, but for some strange reason it had yellow in it and it just didn't look so nice. Fortunately, the second concert in Amsterdam had a more yellow poster, so I'm glad I got the one I got, just of him. I just now need to buy myself a frame, because I think that would be useful, and then I have to ask my dad if he could hang it up. I'm gonna hang it right behind my computer. There is already a picture of Harry Styles there, and I would like it to have a full wall covered in posters and stuff from bands I like. And I think because I built this in 4 times and I generally only build for an hour, I think sometimes that's good, because then it will give me some time away from the building, and then I could potentially find something else that I want to add to it. That is sometimes nice. I generally also just like the outcome of this house, especially when I'm gonna do the garden. I hope I'm gonna do that in a bit. I really like the end result of that. And I don't think it's not very realistic putting plants in a rental home, but for some strange reason, in my eyes, it really is necessary to make it look more homely and not. It could be fake plants. That is an option. I would say that at least. And yes, this has 2 living rooms, and I think that would be nice, given the amount of people you can add in this. You can sleep in this house. And I did try to include a lot of sitting room everywhere, especially some extra sitting nooks in the house, because that sometimes just feels nicer would be maybe the correct term to use. Nicer, just because it does look nicer. And we're now gonna add a couple of extra tables outside. As I said, I want to have enough people sitting there, if that is an option. And I also want to have an option to create good flow to the garden and to the house, not obstructing walkways, but also wanting to have some stuff here and there. So there's a fine balance between having too much stuff in your rental home and having nothing. So I think that is definitely what we're at least trying to figure out here. And I think also in this beginning I started off with like 4 bathrooms, and I think this is also maybe on the smallish side for all the people you have in the house. But I think you can manage, especially because there are 2 just half baths downstairs. So if you only need to use the toilet, you can use that one, and then you won't interfere with somebody needed a shower or something like that. And I like the fact that I try to put the showers in a sort of cubicle, as far as I could make that work. I like that it's not, you're not just showering in the middle of the room. I like that idea. Usually I would put a block shower, but I have these ones, and these ones are nice to look at, and they work well if you make an extra wall. That is always nice. And as I already said, I don't have anything planned yet for the future. No concerts, nothing else going on. And so far I've enjoyed it. I'm glad I have a week off. Well, off. Not going anywhere. I like that. As much as I liked seeing this many concerts in a row, I also think it kind of took a toll on me. Getting COVID in between also didn't help. I don't think that was very beneficial for me. I think I'm gonna start to garden in a second. I'm really good at gardening. No, I'm not, and that's a joke in itself. Oh, we're also gonna put in a full playground. My niece and nephew, especially my niece, as she's the youngest, really enjoyed the idea of having a playground there. She also, I like the idea of a craft room, so that's also, that really says a lot about my niece. I would say that she liked having the idea of a craft room. And yeah, you're gonna see me pull. There is now a sand pit in the set playground, which is nice. But then I'm gonna fill the ground with terrain paint in a sand option. That didn't really make a lot of sense, if you get me. But then also it did in my mind at least. So yeah, it's my build, and I can do whatever I want with it. And also, as I said, I'm gonna do some gardening, and I really wanted a chessboard place. And I imagine this garden bit is gonna be that overgrown that you can't really look at who's walking the path. You may maybe see the top of somebody's head, something like that. Not like a maze, but kind of like a maze. And apparently I was sticking to these pinkish flowers, just filling in the spot with some bushes, which is always nice. Maybe. Yeah. I have thought about sharing this house built with my family, but I also am not really, don't really like criticism. And they will just say it's never gonna happen. Just getting out of your head, it's never gonna happen. Something like that they will say, for sure. Which is not really nice to hear. And I know this is all just make believe. I get that, but I also wouldn't mind if it did happen. We had some fun times during those getaways. And I found that this extra spot, so I'm gonna put a bench in there. You could maybe just sit with your book and have the background noise in the background, the family chatting away. I'm putting in some lights as well. I would say this house turned out really nice. I think if there was a house within not that expensive that looked like this, we would definitely go. I think my grandma would love something like this. There is no room. There is room. There is. We just have to figure out a new floor plan for who sleeps where. I also figured out what we could do there if there's house was set somewhere in the Netherlands, which is not because it's all make believe, but there's potential, and I like that. I like that there's potential for something like this. I think I'm gonna also put in some artwork in every room, and as I said, a mirror because I like that. Some freestanding mirrors, some mirrors just on the wall, depending on the size of the room. Options. We like options, I would say at least. And I also think that there was a couple of mirrors in the hallways, upstairs, downstairs, and I think that also helps getting ready in the morning. If you need a mirror to do your hair or check your outfit, there is always a room somewhere that has a mirror that isn't in use. And I think doesn't the dining room have a mirror as well with a counter under it? Don't know if it has good light, but good enough light, I would say. So that's I think this house would work. And I think there are 2 empty rooms. So as I said, even if my grandma was still here, we could fit in this house, and there would still be 1 empty room. And I bet there is always a use for that 1 empty room. Always. It doesn't matter where or how. I think there's always room for always a use for that extra room. And then you of course have the craft room and the 2 separate living rooms. There is always an option if anybody needs to sleep in a separate room. I would say that's also a good thing. And as I said, just finishing off the artwork in every room. Also trying to make the frames look all the same, which is also nice if you do that. And I would say this artwork is very gender neutral. It's not. Yeah, said flowers are maybe not that gender neutral, but most of the things, the rooms don't really scream boy or girl or anything like that. I think anybody could sleep in this room. Imagine having a house like this that you can rent out. Imagine that. Imagine having to clean this house. That might be the even harder part. And on both sides of the upstairs landing, there is a sitting room corner, reading book corner, which is also nice. And I think I'm now just dotting around some plants here and there and everywhere, which is also good, I would say. As that, I like that idea. And now the hardest part, figuring out some wallpaper for the outside of the house. I will put some screenshots at the end of this video, so you can see the whole floor plan if you want that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, going with this minty, greeny, sagey green color, as you already have guessed. But I'm gonna wrap this part up right now. If you enjoyed watching this from this video up, subscribe to my channel so you see the next part, next house built in 2 weeks time, so on the first day. My name is Xylah, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.